morning, football fans, and welcome to Chippewa Valley High School. I'm Brad Fetters, joined by my broadcast partner tonight, Jeff Vitale, as we come to you from Chippewa Valley High School, home of the Big Reds, as they get set to take on the Eisenhower Eagles. Week 3 of the MHSA season, but more importantly, week 1 of the MAC Red calendar. An outstanding matchup here tonight. Chippewa Valley in their cancer awareness purple jerseys with red numerals and white helmets. Eisenhower Eagles in their road whites. And it should be an outstanding ball game. Chippewa Valley won the coin toss, deferred to the second half, so the Eagles will put the ball in play and start out our coverage tonight with those Eisenhower Eagles. A nice bounce back victory last week, Jeff, as they came away victors against L'Anse Creuse North with a final score of 30-0.
Yeah, Ike, very well coached, proud program. 3 big games are on the MAC tonight. You got this one here, 2 miles north. You got Dakota and Romeo going to be banging heads all night long. And then you got Stevenson and Grosse Pointe South. So the MAC Red going to be out in full force. And this matchup goes back a long ways. And as of recently, it's been all Chippewa Valley. So we'll see if the Big Reds can keep it rolling.
Chippewa Valley has won 4 of the last 5 head-to-head matchups, but it's the Eisenhower Eagles that lead the all-time series 36 victories to 10. So it has been one-sided up until Merchant came in through those Chippewa Valley Big Red doors, and the rivalry has changed, so to speak.
Yeah, I was on the receiving end of some of those 36, so that kind of sits a little deep with me. But Coach Merchant, the winningest Chippewa Valley coach against Eisenhower, and actually, if I can remember, year 1 has done something no Chippewa Valley coach, and that's won at Ike. And I believe, don't have the official records in front of me, but I believe he's done that twice. So up to that point, nobody had ever won a road game at Eisenhower. So big game today. Obviously, you want to get off to a good start, the MAC Red, especially in the coming weeks. You got Dakota and Romeo, so it doesn't get any easier.
Ahmed Basic puts it over the goal line for his 12th touchback of the season. We're going to get a first look at Aiden Ives, who's kind of the backup quarterback for Eisenhower as he swings a little soft screen pass over to that left side, and a big chunk gainer there, 15 yards on the very first play of the game. Yeah,
last year as a freshman, he got the nod as a true freshman. I remember him in 8th grade playing against him at Mallow, and boy, could he just throw the ball all over the place. Obviously, when you get to the high school level, size and strength have a little bit to do with it. You got to kind of grow a little bit, play the speed of the game. But this kid knows how to play the position. He knows how to make all the reads. He's a very intelligent kid, and the Big Red defense is going to be tested today. I wouldn't say not after a week off, but they definitely made it look easy last week against Ford.
Preston Crum is actually who you're thinking of, who's their typical normal starting quarterback. He hurt himself in week 1 against Lake Orion on a celebration, was unable to give it a go last week against L'Anse Creuse North. He was involved in warm-ups. We will see him, I think, here tonight. But Aiden Ives kind of gives you that multi-look. He's kind of a wildcat-type quarterback. He's able to run the speed option as well as throw. So Aiden Ives getting the start here tonight in place of Preston Crum, the sophomore, who's a little banged up.
Well, Brad, that's why you get the big bucks and I just get the peanuts. I get paid on a game-by-game basis. So I guess I did a decent job last week. I may not be back next week. Who knows? But that speed option play puts a lot of stress on your defense. And usually that's run to the wide side of the field. Ike going to the short side of the field a little bit. Nice job. You leave a guy unblocked. You pitch off of him. And the Big Red defense actually did a nice job on that. But, boy, that play is so tough to stop. The Big Reds really got to do a good job of getting off their blocks on the perimeter today because Ike's really going to push the limits on them.
Ives in the shotgun, 3 wide receivers set. He throws into a whole mass of humanity, and Ethan Barker comes down with the reception close to a first down. He's going to be about a yard short.
Yeah, Ike doing a great job blocking on the perimeter right now. They catch the ball, and a lot of the Big Reds converge, but nice job by the receiving core there of sealing a lot of blocks off and just making a play in space. And the Eisenhower receivers right now finding a lot of green as they're right now moving the ball pretty well on the Big Reds.
Coach Smith, the head coach of the Eisenhower Eagles, indicating in the preseason that he really thought their strength this year was going to be the offensive line play and their wide receivers. So really strength versus strength. As Chippewa Valley shows blitz, they come with all kinds of pressure, and they got Aiden Ives in the backfield. That was a designed run. He lost a couple. It's going to bring up a 4th and long now, and more than likely Eisenhower's going to have to punt the ball away.
Well, that play was all Zion Mitchell right there. He did a great job taking his defender down the line, stringing it out. He had to cut back in, and he was there to make the play. That was a great individual effort to keep him inside, because if the quarterback, if he got outside there, it was trouble for the Big Red. So great individual play there. The Big Red defense comes up big. Ike looking to punt. You got to be careful here. This is, kind of in a fake area, but it looks like he's going to kick it away.
Luke Neal puts a big right foot into it. It's away. Fair catch called for and made.
Zach Ernat, yeah, that's why he's back there. Sure hands. A lot of people kind of complain about that, putting one of your best receivers back there. Unfortunately, it backfired at the University of Michigan a week ago. They lost their best receiver for the season, but you got to put someone back there who can catch the ball in traffic like that. And Zach, now on his third year receiving punts, does it better than just about anybody.
Put your best athlete back there because you have trust in that player. So it'll be Schuster at quarterback once again for Chippewa Valley. And Jeff, it's unbelievable. He's completing 77% of his passes this year.
Yeah, he's been unbelievably efficient. And of course, what helps too when you have the running game the Big Reds got. Harris on first down still gets 3. Everybody in the building knows he's going to get the ball, and he still gets 3 yards. It's just amazing how this kid just refuses to go down. But there's so many weapons on this team. Altamirano, Ernat, they bring in so many guys. The offensive line has been great. That's, I think, is going to be the big key tonight, is this offensive line getting out and pushing around this Eisenhower front four, as well as, though, getting a second level, getting those linebackers.
You mentioned Cephas Harris. He got the first touch of this offensive drive for Chippewa Valley. He is averaging nearly 12.5 yards per carry, and nothing going on the very first 2 carries of this football game. Credit that defensive front thus far for the Eisenhower Eagles.
I wonder, too, if coming into this week, there's a lot of zone replays with the Big Reds, and obviously the attention is on Harris. I wonder if Coach Genreiter's got a few tricks up his sleeve to have Schuster pull and run or pull and fire it, too, because we haven't seen that yet this year, and they're keying on number 7.
4 wide receiver, completely spread here on third down. Schuster feeling all kinds of pressure as the pocket collapses. He's able to escape out to his right. He rolls out and fires incomplete. Good protection downfield by that secondary of the Eisenhower Eagles, and it's a quick 3 and out.
Yeah, Schuster did a nice job of scrambling, buying himself a lot of time. Problem was just everybody was blanketed. Great job by the Eisenhower defense. And the Big Reds opening drive, which we have not seen much this year, go 3 and out. Have not seen that yet.
Talking to head coach Scott Merchant prior to the start of this game, he said he felt his team may have played their best game, their best opening game against Catholic Central since he's been here. And he admitted to me he thought there was a little bit of a letdown a week ago against Utica Ford, and he wanted to get the energy back here tonight, and not the greatest of starts offensively for Chippewa Valley.
Sure. That week 1 performance was outstanding. Again, you can go back and look at Catholic Central's history, and very few times in their history have they been pushed around like they were week 1. It is very tough to carry that over, especially when you know that you had an opponent come in that got beat 54-0. Still, I thought the offense looked pretty good. A couple arm tackles on the defense, those are things you got to clean up. But you would definitely think that they're going to be up for this game. Don't see them putting 40, 45 points on the board, because both teams are so well coached, know each other so well. But this is going to be a whale of a football game, and the opening chess match is kind of how we thought it would start.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a feeling out process here between rivals. Very start of the conference play, and a little misdirection, and look out. Another nice gainer out to the 34-yard line.
Yeah, Ike running the old flex bone there, and that's a triple option look. And they just came back. You run the guy in motion, which kind of shows toss sweep, and you came back with the counter there and got 5 on that one. Actually, not bad defended against the Big Reds. Just an open missed tackle in space, but that was kind of the deal last week. They had a lot of arm tackles, and I'm sure they really worked on cleaning that up for this week.
That was Hayden Bills, only a sophomore. So a lot of underclassmen up and down this Eisenhower roster, getting their feet wet. Trial by fire here against this nasty Chippewa Valley defense. over pursuit that time on the swing pass. Cardamone caught it out in the flats, got back to about the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, missed tackle there. They actually had him for a couple-yard loss, but Cameron Frazier came in and cleaned him up. But Ike really liking that bubble screen, really trying to press those Chippewa corners and really make them work and see that they haven't really been tested yet, and they're really coming out and attacking them.
So bring up a 3rd down and 4. The line to gain is the 39-yard line. 3 down linemen out there for Chippewa Valley. 2 wide receiver to Aiden Ives left. 2 to his right. He looks left, scans back to the right. He's going to roll out that way. Good coverage downfield. He's going to tuck and run. He's going to pick up a couple, but he's going to be short of the first down markers. Terrific pursuit that time by Chippewa Valley.
Yeah, Cameron Frazier, MVP of that drive. He made 2 huge plays to force a 3-and-out for Ike. So how the Big Reds answer when the offense goes 3-and-out, the defense gets the Eagles to go 3-and-out. So both teams, you can see, very, very well coached defensively, and they're going to have to try to throw something at these defenses to kind of keep them honest, because right now, defense is extremely aggressive, and they seem to be winning the battles early.
You mentioned Cameron Frazier comes into tonight's game leading the team in tackles with 17, 3 of which are tackles for losses. So he has been the bright spot defensively so far this season for Chippewa Valley.
Yeah, absolutely. That defense got a lot of speed, a lot of talent, but boy, when something up front goes wrong, he's a pretty nice safety to have right back there cleaning a lot of stuff up. And boy, he does a great job of running things down. Very rarely takes a wrong angle on a pursuit. He is just a good, solid young football player. Going to get to see him around another year.
Second drive of the game now for the Big Reds. Schuster drops back, fires right down the seam, in and out of the hands of Shamar Hurd.
Yeah, Shamar on that post. Schuster put a little something on it, just a little bit out of his reach. It looked like he stopped there. I don't know if that was thrown above him or up high, but Shamar had a little trouble with that. Big Red's really trying to test that secondary for the Ike Eagles, who are out in their traditional 4-3.
Being at field level prior to the start of tonight's game, watching Ryan Schuster warm up, just the way the ball comes off his hand, it's nearly perfect. That tight spiral, it's a really good catchable ball, and we know the Schuster quarterback blood runs deep. Quick screen out to the right-hand side. Good gainer there on 2nd down.
That's a nice read.
Third manageable.
I don't know if you picked that up, Brad, but the outside linebacker was showing blitz, and Schuster tapped his face mask, little signal to the receiver. Might have been a check down, but he went quick bubble and able to get 8 out of it. Great job on 2nd and long to make this a 3rd and manageable for the Big Reds. And Coach Denreiter loves to be aggressive here, so I'm very interested to see how he's going to call this second drive of the game to loosen this defense up.
Kalen Shaw on the reception there. So 3rd and short, 3rd and 2. Schuster, 3-step drop across the middle. Oh. In and out of hands of the linebacker, Dominic Ferrero, that time.
Yeah, Altamirano came on a drag, and he never saw number 48, was sitting, or 45, sitting right there, and almost hit him in the chest for a pick. Luckily, he had something on it, and he couldn't make the catch. This is an interesting look here. The Big Reds are 4th and 2 on their 37. They were thinking about it, but here comes the punting unit out. So, again, both defenses coming out this game, both offenses, first 2 drives stall out, and they're going to have to punt.
Teams trading punts. Luke Myers deep for Eisenhower.
The Big Reds only got 10 guys out there. That far receiver was not out there. They're short a guy here. They return this. Oh, he touched it.
That's a live ball.
Yeah, the Big Reds might hop on this. Yeah, it's going to be Chippewa ball.
Oh, they're going to say Eisenhower football.
Oh, boy.
They're going to say Eisenhower football. And the 2 officials are going to come together, and that far side official is adamant that it is Ike ball. Going to be down at the 14-yard line.
Well,
That might explain why no Eagle went after it.
Unless he flat out whiffed on the catch. I mean, it really looked like it hit him. But last week we thought a completion by Schuster hit the ground, and that wasn't called either. So I will say this, as the 700, 800, 900 people here disagree with the call, that official was right there in position.
Pitch this time to Cardamone. Turns back upfield across the 20, up to about the 21-yard line. So Eisenhower has been really good on first and second down. It's just been finishing off some of these drives.
Yeah, I really like the game plan right now that Eisenhower has come out with. They're really trying to stretch the Big Reds sideline to sideline and see how well they covered. We have made mention, too, about the speed of this Big Red defense, but Eisenhower really early trying to put them out to the test.
Solkowski, the lone running back behind Aiden Ives. He's going to be their leading rusher this season. He's a terrific tailback for them, and he takes the straight handoff that time, turns to the left side, gains the edge, all the way out to about the 30-yard line.
Yeah, nice play. Looked like a little inside trap, and then he just bounced it. And made a nice stiff arm there on Ernat and got a first down. But, boy, inside, outside, they went to the flex bone. Sometimes they jump back into, double wide on each side or trips to one side. They're really doing a nice job of mixing things up, kind of confusing this Big Red defense a little bit, not letting them get into a rhythm.
And more importantly, you're keeping that Chippewa Valley loaded offense on the sidelines. So there's just 4 minutes left to go in the opening quarter of play. They send a man in motion. This is a straight QB keeper by Aiden Ives. He picks up 11, just lowered his head and dove across those first down markers.
Yeah, it looked like a little option. Everyone jumped, and he just cut it right back inside and hit the gut and picked up 11. And, Eisenhower Eagles starting to get a little comfortable on offense, starting to really move the football in this Big Red defense.
This is like old school Army-Navy style offense here for Eisenhower. This ain't an air raid attack with Aiden Ives at the quarterback position. 3 down linemen. A little bit of a 3-4 look for Chippewa Valley that time. Nothing going on the ground.
Well, several years back, Coach Smith had kind of incorporated the old triple option look, and he went to it for several years. So they are well versed in running option football. Obviously, for the years of Joe Youngblood and all those guys who happens to be an assistant coach now, the Giorgios, and you saw the spread offense, balanced running attack with the passing game. So they've kind of mixed the old traditional Eisenhower offense with some new kind of fresh stuff, and it's a really nice balanced attack.
Ives going to throw it this time, looking deep, jumping the route. Ooh, nearly intercepted from that safety position. It was Rayshawn Hester in coverage for Chippewa Valley.
Yeah, Hester read that all the way, broke on it nice, and you can probably see why they haven't put the ball up much, because that ball hung up there quite a bit. Coach Wilson obviously might have to make some adjustments as this game goes on. But now, you're at the Big Red defense right now. You're right where you like it at 3rd and long, and that's kind of hurt Eisenhower's drives. They kind of start off, you said, 1st and 2nd down, really run the ball well, but every now and then getting these 3rd and longs, it kind of hurts them.
Ives looks over at that visitor's sideline, drops back, feels all kinds of pressure, able to avoid the sack. There
might be a face mask.
Penalty on the play, in and out of the hands of the wide receiver downfield. Cardamone, the intended receiver.
Or a legal man downfield. Looks like they're yelling at linemen. So it could be that or a face mask. The way he threw the flag, it looked like it could be a face mask.
Because it did come, yep, and that's what it's going to be. It's going to be a face mask. The penalty flag was thrown as Aiden Ives avoided the quarterback's sack, and in pursuit there, reached up and grabbed the face mask.
That is the same referee on the calling the punt, too. So you look at the sideline, though, and you can kind of tell when things are a bad call. And no one over the Chippewa side is complaining. So obviously they saw the same thing. And that's a big penalty because now instead of 4th down, they're punting it away. You give the Eagles a fresh set of downs, and they're inside the 50, they're inside your territory.
So the first time either school has crossed over midfield. Eisenhower on the move. Aiden Ives going to keep it here. Going to look deep. Going to look across the middle, in and out of the hands once again of Cardamone. Bennett Cardamone, the junior, right down the seam once again. It's back-to-back drops for the junior.
Yeah, you know, I'll tell you, he's put 2 balls on the money for the receivers to catch. They just haven't come down with the football. And that's all you got to ask your quarterback to do, especially your backup quarterback, is just give him a chance. And that's what he's done. I mean, you know, I know there were 2 guys on him, but he had a chance to make that catch and put the Eagles inside the 20. That would have been a big play.
Ethan Barker, senior wideout, flanked over to Aiden Ives' right. Aiden Bills in the slot. Aves being pursued.
Oh, that's a fumble.
Did he get the arm moving forward?
Oh,
boy,
you gotta be kidding me. That was terrible. That was terrible. That's a terrible call. We don't see the instant replay, but now that's 3 big calls that have really gone against the Big Reds. That hand was not going forward because he had his shoulder pad. There was no way that ball was going forward. Now I'm probably get a call from the MHSAA, but
they'll call it an incomplete pass.
Brings up 3rd and 10 for Eisenhower.
Jeff Vitale loves himself some Chippewa Valley Big Red football. No cheering in the press box, but there's questioning calls in the press box.
Well, you know, I did play on this field when it was grass. Not many people remember that. It's been a while.
So 3rd down and 10. Chippewa coming again with
hole.
pressure. And they're going to get Aiden Ives this time and bring him down. It's going to be a quarterback sack for Chippewa Valley.
Just great pursuit there. And I'll tell you what, boy, you know, this kid doesn't go down easy. And he almost somehow slipped out of that, Houdini-esque. But nice pursuit and team defense there. Bring him down for a sack. And now I'm going to have to punt that away. Going to put the Big Reds, though, deep in their own territory.
Brings up 4th down and 14.
So the first sustained drive of the game for either team will once again end in a punt. 1:35 left to go, first quarter of play. Burnett back for Chippewa Valley. Kick is away. The kick is good. Burnett's going to call for a fair catch and make it at the 15-yard line.
Yeah, nice job there. He had number 19 right in his face, waiting for him to fumble it. Jackson DeMassey. And Zach put that away pretty easily, as he usually does. Very sure-handed receiver. So 3rd drive of the game. The Big Reds yet to get into Eisenhower territory. And we'll see if Coach Denreiter goes into his bag of tricks here. Coming out with a little different now, a little fullback look in the backfield with 1 less wide receiver. So Big Reds maybe trying to go a little bit bigger and pound these guys.
Fullback on the left side of that formation. They're going to run behind him. It's Cephas Harris.
Yeah,
Just bottled up in the backfield. He's going to lose a yard.
Oh, that Ike defense is just all over Cephas Harris right now. And
Chippewa Valley running back Myron Harris back up for a 1-yard
he
loss.
he is not breaking free right now. They got him dialed in.
Averaging over 200 yards of all-purpose yards per game. 7 total TDs, including 5 on the ground. Had 134 all-purpose yards a week ago, and he didn't play the second half of the football game against Utica Ford. That is as dominant as Cephas Harris has been this season. Just video game-like numbers. They call him Trey. He's in the backfield. He's going to get the handoff this time. Keeps those pad levels low, and goodbye. Off to the races.
Nope, ain't going to catch him.
Nobody's going to catch him. 86 yards to pay dirt, and he puts the Big Reds on the scoreboard. They lead it 6-0.
I love what Coach Denreiter did there. Ran the counter, came back. Cephas fouled his blockers and made a nice cut, and after that, it was all number 7. And if you're going to get in a foot race with Cephas Harris, it's kind of like the Lions win a Super Bowl. I don't like your chances. Or if you're going to bet on the Lions to win a Super Bowl, I don't like your chances.
He exploded through that line, and he just made himself as small as possible squeezed through there, got to the next level, and then took off. Nobody in that Eisenhower secondary could catch Cephas Harris, his 8th touchdown of the season, the 6th on the ground, and Ahmed Basic, pretty much automatic, adds on the extra point to make it 7-0 Big Reds over the Eisenhower Eagles.
Well, and an 86-yard run will do wonders for your yards per carry average. So, because up to that point, they had really done a nice job of stuffing him. But it's kind of like Barry Sanders: 1, 0, -4, 3, 2, and then 90. And just bam.
I think we made that comparison a week ago
We
as
did.
well, and we said, well, that's not really fair to Cephas Harris to compare him to one of the all-time greats, but I think that analogy's spot on. They've had Cephas Harris bottled up in the backfield throughout this first quarter, and then boom, he's off to the races and finds the end zone.
But the builds of both athletes are the same. I mean, granted, you're talking about one of the best running backs of all time, where Cephas is yet to get there. However, if you've been around, I mean, he is a brick house. His legs are huge. He is ripped. He is strong. And if you're going to come at him and arm tackle him or tackle him soft, he is going to cleat up your chest and run you over. And you better come and hit him hard, or you're not going to bring him down.
So Chippewa Valley only had 11 yards of offense on their first 2 drives, and all of a sudden you look up and all of a sudden they have nearly 100 yards in this quarter as that ball just squeaked out of bounds at the 1-yard line. A nice kick there by Ahmed Basic. The penalty flag was thrown for an illegal procedure kick out of bounds.
Yeah, nice job by Slakowski there to not catch it. It was close to the corner. It took literally just went dead left out of bounds, and the Eagles going to get nice field position. And Ike's moved the ball, except for a couple plays breaking down here or there. I mean, offensively, they've definitely looked better, even though they trail 7-0. They just got to stay out of those 3rd and longs where the Big Reds really tee off on them. And take my hat off to number 1, Aiden Ives, who, again, has come in to play in a backup quarterback role. I'll be honest with you, I think he's played a great first quarter.
Preston Crum, as we mentioned, got hurt in that Lake Orion game in week 1. He actually hurt himself on a touchdown celebration, going up and collided in with his wide receiver and came down awkwardly and hurt himself there. So not the way you want to go down in week 1, as Eisenhower eventually lost that game to the Dragons, but were able to bounce back and shut out Lance Cruz North last week.
Yeah, that was, they're very high on him ever since he's been in middle school. That class that came through that are now sophomores, they're very, very high on that class. And a lot of them are up on the varsity. This is a younger team. And, they're definitely going to want him back as the horn comes to an end. And we got a 7-0 first quarter.
That'll be the end of the first quarter with Chippewa Valley.
So it's a battle between the trenches there for the first couple drives before Cephas Harris took the game into his hands and legs on that 86-yard touchdown run. We'll keep it right here as Chippewa Valley leads the Eisenhower Eagles 7-0. And Jeff, you made mention of the other games across the MAC Red tonight. We got Stevenson at Grosse Pointe South.
That's going to be an interesting game because Grosse Pointe South has some serious talent at wide receiver, and I am very interested to see how that goes. We also made mention last week about Ford heading to Lance Cruz North, 8-0 Falcons early. So, talked about them wanting to kind of get up early. I'm kind of scrolling through my Twitter. Romeo leads Dakota 7-0 at the end of the first quarter.
Wow.
2 miles north of here. So
another little screen pass. Eisenhower really not reinventing the wheel, just going to some bread and butter plays and picking up yardage in important downs. You pick up 8 there on first down, brings you up a second down and very manageable, and it kind of really opens up the playbook, doesn't it, when you're second down and short?
Oh, absolutely. When you're in short conversion downs, I mean, you can pretty much throw the book at it. When you get 3rd and longs, especially in double digits, it's so selective on what you can do. You really give the advantage to the defense.
Salkowski lined up behind Aiden Ives. 3 wide receivers to Aiden Ives left, and he's going to go right this time. Floats one up, just out of the reach there of Ethan Barker.
And that's another thing that you can do, Brad. You know, on second and 2, they decide to take a shot. And, you know, if you don't get it, you're still at a 3rd and 2 where it's manageable. So it allows you to be more aggressive. And with the success they've had with the quarterback running the ball, not to mention their other backs, you just become so deadly. You got the defense trying to have way too many cues to keep their eye on. And that's going to cost them 5.
Misdirection there as Cardamone took off early. This isn't the CFL or arena football. You can't get a running start. So they'll back him up 5 yards, and all of a sudden that 2nd and 3rd and manageable becomes 3rd and long.
That's a helpless feeling when you're the only one moving and everyone else just standing around like a bunch of statues. You know you made a mistake.
You put your head down, return to the huddle,
right.
and hope coach doesn't call your number back over to the sidelines.
My bad.
Just pound your chest, right? Admit your mistake and make up for it on the very next play.
But this is what we talked about. You now take a 3rd and 2 and go to 3rd and 7. You know, 3rd and 7, you might be able to run the ball, but, you know, here comes that down 3 pass rush. That's really put some pressure on him so far this game. So you know they're coming.
Ives looks to his left, is going to get flushed out again, changes direction. He's got a little bit of an edge over on that far sidelines and will just wisely step out of bounds as Zion Mitchell kind of had him lined up along that sideline.
Yeah, the down 3 really flushed him out of the pocket. As soon as they did that, everyone did a nice job of hemming it in. He had nowhere to go. He had to step out of bounds or he was going to get his clock cleaned. And again, Big Red defense coming up huge. Force another Eagle punt. That's 4 for 4 in the drives that make it Eagles punt. So Big Red defense doing their job. And, you know, punt here. Get that Big Red offense back in the field and see what we can do after that 86-yard touchdown run on the previous drive.
Another fair catch called for is backpedaling effort that time as the catch is finally made at the 13-yard line.
Yeah, so many people out there do not understand how hard it is to catch a punt. I mean, you gotta try to picture it. You are staring up into the sky. You see nothing. You hear footsteps all around you. You have no idea where anybody is, and you got to concentrate and catch the ball. And if you don't fair catch it, someone's going to take your head off. It's probably one of the most horrifying things out there just because at least in a kickoff, they're at least 20, 30 yards away by the time you catch the ball. On a punt, you're going to have someone right in your grill, especially if you drop it.
Well, and I think that goes to the belief that you put your best playmaker back there to field a punt. Obviously, a bit Michigan you mentioned with Ronnie Bell. Look at Cephas Harris just churning those feet all the way up to the 28. You put Ronnie Bell back there, he gets injured, of course. You lose him to an ACL tear, but that's what Harbaugh has done when he has been at Michigan. You've had Donovan Peoples-Jones back there. You've had Jabril Peppers back there.
Charles Woodson, Desmond.
Sure.
I don't know if you said Desmond Howard already, but yeah, some of the greatest players to ever play.
Steve Breston was back there for the longest time for Michigan as well.
And Cephas may be 5'8", 195 in the program, but he runs like he's 6'8", 300, dragging a group of Eisenhower Eagles there in that last drive. He's starting to get warmed up, Brad.
Low snap. Schuster able to bring it up. He fires a strike.
Just out of the reach. Maddox is right there. Altamirano. I think that's 11, right?
Yep.
These jerseys, these numbers are a little tighter on these jerseys, so it's kind of hard to see, especially with the purple. From here, it looks like 7. Also doesn't help that I'm old, but it looks like 7 for him. But yeah, that's Maddox, and that was on a nice seam route, just over his fingertips. That was a nice route. Needs to be a little bit better throw though.
And terrific job by both of these fan bases. As you see the student sections for both teams wearing the purple. As Cephas Harris goes up with a little bit of a mini hurdle that time. Late flag came in. Cancer Awareness Night. We mentioned that at the very start of tonight's broadcast. And holding against Chippewa Valley.
That's that far side official who I don't think is going to be getting a Christmas card from Coach Merchant anytime soon.
I thought it was a very cleanly played football game a week ago for Chippewa Valley. Really didn't have many glaring penalties or mistakes.
Yeah,
it was an energy issue.
Yeah, and more importantly, nobody injured in week 2. They got to play everybody, which is always important too, especially early on, getting some guys some experience. I thought, just for a couple of our missed tackles, I really thought it was a pretty good performance. But, sometimes too, when you kind of sometimes just not seem to be there as mentally when you play an opponent that you're a lot better than.
Schuster outside the numbers that time, incomplete. So Schuster really hasn't found his rhythm as of yet. Was looking to go to Zach Ernett that time.
Yeah, that was a deep down and out to the sidelines, ball just thrown outside. I like the play call there. That was something only Zach was going to be able to catch. If he would have converted that, you've been staring at a 3rd and 2. This really puts the Big Reds in a bind here. You got 3rd and 18, especially with a 7-0 lead here. You don't want to do anything that's going to give the Eagles some momentum. You might just see number 7 here get the ball and live to fight another day.
They're in the shotgun. Eisenhower shows pressure along the middle. Now they'll back off. And they come now with it, and we got a late flag come in when we got to delay a game.
Yeah, they were kind of playing the stall game with the Eagles showing blitz. They backed out of it, and they just had to snap it. And they were already down the play clock, and that's going to back them up 5 more. Now you're really looking for something here. You're just trying to get a positive gain and punt, because a 3rd and 23 is not a very high percentage to convert. And you'll see the Eagles right now, they're playing both safeties over the top of the receivers for some help. They are not going to get beat deep over the top. The middle of the field, though, will be wide open.
So Eisenhower showing that blitz again. They'll back out, and it's a screen pass to Cephas Harris, who thought about running before securing the football there.
Boy, he had a lot of real estate in front of him, too. Schuster did a nice job of sucking in that D-line, and if Cephas could have held on to that, he might still be running. And but instead, it becomes an incomplete pass, and the Big Reds will punt it. I like the play call. A great play call by Coach Denreiter.
Back to receive for Eisenhower, number 12. Aiden Bills, number
So Biamet Basic to punt the football away.
You definitely got to tip your cap, Brad, to both defenses so far. Coming out playing extremely well, very prepared against both two teams that have very high-powered offenses. Nice fair catch there.
So Biamet Basic been pretty busy here tonight. It's already his 3rd punt of the game. Coming into tonight, they had only punted the ball away once this season.
Might have to icy hot that leg tomorrow. It's getting a little bit of a workout. That was Luke Myers on the fair catch, by the way. Very tough fair catch. But the Eagles are going to start the Big Red 49-yard line. They're in pretty good shape here to begin this drive. Big Red defense really going to have to stand tall. And they've been great so far tonight. Definitely more focused than obviously last week, and not many arm tackles. Even though Eisenhower has moved the ball a little bit, the Big Red defense really has been stout.
So plus territory to start this drive. A little razzle-dazzle.
Oh, here we go.
And we got a wide receiver throwing the football. Jackson Damasi.
That was an A for imagination, F for execution. But he was open. He just couldn't get it to him. It's hard because sometimes at that wide receiver, if you're going to throw that ball, you got to take your glove off, and those things are so sticky. Sometimes it's hard to even throw the football with those gloves on, just because you get too much grip.
Yeah, a ton of tack to those gloves, and Damasi clapped his hands together as they broke the huddle. As he was upset with himself for short-arming that football, and you're running right into the teeth of that defensive line. Nowhere to go there for Sokolski.
If you're going to run at Aaron Mitchell all night long, you're going to have a long night, because he just stuffed that tackle and that ball carrier. Now, here we are. Something that the Eagles have not done well on all night is 3rd and long, and Cephas Harris coming into play some defense.
He's going to
kind of feel like we're at the Water Boy. Last game, Brent. Don't hold anything back.
He's going to come in at the outside linebacker position. This is just putting athletes on the field and seeing what they can do, and spy the quarterback perhaps as some contact on the outside. This is going to be defensive pass interference.
Well, that's going to be a gift, too, because 3rd and 10. Now you give them a first down inside the 40, and the Eagles are in business.
Intended receiver was Ethan Barker.
Quick update from Dakota, 7:07 to go in the second. The Cougars have tied it, 7-7.
I think that was the biggest question mark of the night is what were we going to see out of Dakota? What were they made out of? And I knew it was going to be a good ball game between them and Romeo.
Well, we knew coming into the season they were a big, nasty, physical offensive line with a big, physical, strong defensive line. Nobody up front can match up with Dakota in this red division except for maybe Stevenson and Chippewa. We said that earlier. Having a new quarterback, that was going to see where it was, and he played much better last week from what I was told. And nice job there, Anthony Wright, the big man, getting in on there. But, when the quarterback play is where it's at, they're loaded at the skill positions. They're going to be a tough team to beat. So, obviously a smash mouth game with Romeo. That was a big playoff game last year where Romeo came in and upset Dakota, got the game-winning touchdown on an illegal formation, which the Cougars are still a little upset about. I would be too. The tackle eligible was covered, and they didn't call it, and scored the game-winning touchdown on Dakota. So that was a tough one.
Aaron Mitchell in on that previous quarterback sack as well. Aiden Ives looking to go deep to Barker again. Ooh, reaching back in coverage and nearly coming down with a one-handed interception. That was Ricky Mosley, the third out there.
By number 4, Jeremiah Mason.
So Eisenhower taking some shots downfield. Not afraid of Aiden Ives' arm. Going to utilize him in the pass game here tonight.
Number 3, Ricky Mosley on defense.
7:25 left to go. First half of play. 7-0. Big Reds on top of the Eagles. Ives, straight drop. Going to throw a little screen pass. Slizlowski able to break the first tackle. Picks up a handful. Gets up to the 32, but it'll be about 8 yards short on that 3rd and long screen play.
Yeah, nice job by Zach Ernat there of making that stop. And Eisenhower got a 4th and 7 here. This is definitely a go for it. Watch the football here. Might try to draw you off sides.
Send Hayden Bills in motion, and then he'll go back to the set. Aiden Ives looks over at the sideline. They're probably going to take this play clock down as much as they can before snapping it. Ives scanning the defense, doesn't see much, so he'll scamper with it. Takes off running and gets brought down well short of the first down markers, 5 yards short, in fact. So it'll be a turnover on downs.
Yeah, that was a great open field tackle, Zion Mitchell. And I will say this. It is astounding that the Big Red playing that 3-man front, the pressure they are getting with only bringing 3. Those front 3 are just shoving that entire Eisenhower O-line backwards, and they are really struggling trying to slow down that Big Red front 3.
So strength on strength. Coach Smith was really impressed with his offensive line play in the preseason, and we just know how good that D-line is for Chippewa Valley after watching their game a week ago against Ford. Harris looking for the right side. Ooh, knocked down. Good open field tackle made by Matt Ames.
Yeah, nice job of just stringing that out and just being patient. And still got 6 on the play. And it's going to be 2nd and 4. So gotta like. I just love his patience. He just, even when you bottle him up, bam, 86 yards. And the next thing you know, he's just rolling. The next carry he gets is 10. Next one is just 6, 7. Like, it just seems like once he gets that one run, he's like, all right, here we go. Like, I'm ready to roll.
I think that 6-yard gainer right there is one of the more impressive runs just because he found a hole and was able to exploit that hole in the defense.
Well, the Big Reds tried a little sweep there out of that trips formation, that bunch. And as soon as Shamar took off, those three secondary guys just took off, and he had nowhere to go, and that ended up being a big loss.
Good containment and pursuit, good diagnosis there as well by Eisenhower to spot that sweep play. So it brings up a 3rd and long, 3rd and 9. The line to gain is the 38. Schuster really hasn't found his.
Oh, there's Maddox.
His deep ball, and he found it there.
Deep post, he's one-on-one. Many times you are in trouble as a cornerback when you are covering this young man one-on-one. Boy, he just makes it look easy. Maddox Altamirano. Oh,
29 yards on the reception, and dangerous pass, nearly intercepted. That could have easily been a pick 6.
Yeah, they had all 3 receivers kind of lined up there, and I think that was surprised at which one it was going to. The next thing you know, it went through his hands and almost into the hands of number 81 for Eisenhower, Cody Raymond. So, yeah, that almost made that a tie ball game. So, the Big Reds in this first half, which hasn't had it up to this point, have kind of struggled with the passing game tonight. It's really been the ground game.
Schuster's delivered passes right on the money. They just haven't been completed. A bad exchange there between Schuster and Harris making something out of nothing.
Well, he was met head on.
Something out
yeah,
of
he was met head on in the backfield for a 3-yard loss. And again, you just can't explain. It's hard to fathom when you're watching this on TV, but how strong this kid is, because pretty much any other back would be down on their back, and he ends up getting back to the line of scrimmage when really he shouldn't. There's no way he should have. So,
and that was the mesh point. That was a bad mesh point there between Schuster and Harris, and a little bit of a read option play. Schuster able to get that low snap up. 2 pass rushers and a little dump off to Harris, and he uses his size and strength to get pretty close to the first down marker.
Yeah, I think they're short, but I definitely think you're going to see him go for it here.
Boy, it's going to be close.
Maybe even a Schuster run. You see him do this with Tommy. Oh.
They're going to
well,
give
the
it
referee
to
on the near side gave the Big Reds a favorable spot. The coaches on the far side don't like it, but their near side officials give them the benefit of a few calls tonight too. So the chess match back and forth continues, Brad.
3:40 left to go, second quarter of play. And this is the first time that Chippewa Valley has gotten on the Eisenhower side of the 50 since that touchdown run. They really haven't had a sustained drive like this all game long.
Yeah, that one big play, but besides that, you take that one big play out, the Eisenhower defense has been basically flawless. So, the Big Reds here to kind of keep that defense rested on the sideline, to wear this Eisenhower defense down. Many guys going both ways for the guys in white.
Zion Mitchell in at the tailback position, a little swing pass to the left slot position. Late flag comes in. Reception made across the 20.
The flag was thrown by where Ernat was, but I don't know if it was a hold because the Eagle defender kind of put him on his back, so I don't know what they're going to call here. But the flag was thrown in that direction, Brad. I'm going to call the Big Reds for a hold.
So it'll negate the reception there by Kalen Shaw, the junior wide receiver. Perhaps that far side receiver might have been holding.
That's what they're talking about. I think they're getting Ernat on the hold, which, I don't know. I mean, that Eisenhower defender took him to the ground. I don't know if he pulled him down. Obviously, he's a long ways away, but anyway, it's not a huge loss. He only loses a couple on the play. It's going to be 2nd and 7, but negates a first down, that's for sure.
2nd and 7, Chippewa Valley.
2:35 left to go, opening half of play. Schuster rolls out to his right, finds a drag route. Catch is made all the way up to the 21.
Number 43, Clement Krasnicki.
Complete to number 42,
Nice job in the drag route there. A little old school boot pass play there. And nice job to catch. And not only that, but keep his feet, drag him a couple yards to get those chains moving. So even on the penalty, the Big Reds convert, move the chains in, working their way toward the red zone, Brad.
Shamar Hurd now in at the slot receiver position. They're going to leave Krasnicki in at that fullback position. And forward pass in and out of the hands of Hurd.
Well, Romeo strikes at the 3-minute mark of the second quarter. 3 minutes to go. It's 14-7 Bulldogs over the Cougars as that big battle down at 21 Mile and Heinrich is going on. Obviously, next week, the big matchup. Big Reds traveling to the Cougars. There'll be a couple people at that game, Brad.
It's going to be loud. MHSA is going to have coverage of that one on their streaming platforms. Cephas Harris III back in at the tailback position. He's in Schuster's right pocket. He's going to go out, and that's who Schuster's looking for. Harris calls for the football. Schuster stays in bounds. Takes a tumble down at the 15-yard line. Going to be short of the sticks. 4 yards short as the clock continues to tick down as we approach the 2-minute mark of this second quarter.
That's all right. That's a nice game. But what that does, too, is takes more time off the clock by staying in bounds. He's not an easy kid to bring down. Ryan's 6'2", 200 pounds. When he's in that open field, he is a specimen. So not an easy guy to bring down, and got a third and manageable here.
Hand off to Harris. Cuts back to his right, stays on his feet, carries a defender into the end zone for the touchdown. 15 yards on the ground for Cephas Harris, his second touchdown of the game.
He is so fun to watch. Just a nice job of staying patient behind your offensive line. And as soon as he saw that daylight, darted up the hole. And as soon as a few guys jumped on his back, he just drug him into the end zone. And enjoy the ride. Thank you for being at Cedar Point.
Hands and feet inside the ride at all times.
That's right.
Cephas Harris, his 9th touchdown of the season, 7 of them now on the ground. As Ahmed Basic in to complete the extra point. The snap is up. The kick is through. And just like that, the Big Reds now out in front, 14-0 over the Eisenhower Eagles.
Well, their first long sustained drive of the game, Brad. Nice way to march it all the way down the field. Even survived a couple penalties on that drive and a couple incompletions. Put one in the end zone behind that offensive line. Now, even at 14-0, but the way the defenses have played, you might start to look at Eisenhower abandoning that game plan coming in because, the Big Red defense has not allowed much today, and the Eagles are going to have to come up with something to get back in this game. And remember, with only 1:40 to go in the half, the Big Reds get the ball to start the second half. So with the way the last 2 drives have gone, the Eagles got to do something.
Eisenhower does have all 3 timeouts. You wonder at some point, do you maybe try Preston Crum, the sophomore who missed all of last week with an injury? Well, he's a true quarterback, and he's got a big arm, and he may open up the playbook just a little bit more for them offensively here, especially on this 2-minute drive.
And the big old leg comes into play again. And every time you can make a team just start from the 20 and not have a chance to return it, especially with some of the athletes that Eisenhower has, is a weapon you can have on your special team. So you put that defense out there and have the offense having to go 80 yards on it with only 1:40 left. Just keep everybody in front of you. Don't give up the big play. And if the Big Reds, I think, go at half 14-0, I think they'll be extremely satisfied.
His 13th touchback now on 17 kickoffs. I mean, that is just insane for Ahmed Basic, as Aiden Ives is back in the game and is able to find Ethan Barker. That's one of his main men offensively at the wide receiver position. He was the leading receiver the last 2 seasons, missed most of the second half of last year with an injury. So Coach Smith's got to love to have number 4 in white, his senior Ethan Barker, back.
Yeah, nice job there on the post. Nicely thrown ball, and gain of 22 has the Eagles off and rolling here. Now when you get to this point in the field, you can really start opening up a little bit and even being more aggressive.
Clock continues to tick down, though. 1:10 left to go in the first half. Nice little quick strike outside the numbers on the right-hand side, and Eisenhower is going to have to burn a timeout.
Yeah, nice open field tackle there by the Big Reds, having to force the Eagles to burn a timeout. They get to just about the 50. Looks like it's marked just short of the 50 unless they decide to move it up. But
So
minute 4, a lot of time to go. A lot of time left with a minute 4 when you're at the 50-yard line.
2 big chunk plays. You gain 30 yards on 2 pass plays, and all of a sudden you're cooking here. Ball at midfield with 1:04 left to go now in the first half. Chippewa Valley in front on the back of 2 rushing touchdowns by Cephas Harris III. An 86-yard scamper to get the scoring started, and a 15-yard carry on the very last Big Red drive prior to Eisenhower getting the football back. So here we go, coming out of the timeout, 2nd down and 2 from midfield.
Counter. Well, that counter play has really worked nice for the Eagles tonight. Done a really nice job executing that.
Number 32, Bennett Cardamone.
Across the 40, they're going to mark him down finally at the 38. Eisenhower quickly getting back to the line of scrimmage. Aiden Ives, the senior signal caller, called in relief here this evening once again. Fires it to the outside. It's completed to Ethan Barker once again. Mr. Automatic on that far side. And Eisenhower is going to use their 2nd timeout of the half. They'll have 1 left. The ball marked down at the 33-yard line.
Yeah, really utilizing that hitch route. And you just can't, unfortunately, you just can't get out of bounds, so I just got to burn a timeout. With 1 left, you're going to have to get a little closer here. If you get close enough to even try a field goal, you're kicking into the wind. It makes it a tougher field goal. Traditionally, Ike has an outstanding kicker. The kicking game, it's kind of what it's been a staple there. Obviously not having seen much of them this year, don't know where they're at with that, but even if he were to kick it from here, you're talking about a 49-yard field goal into the wind at a high school level. That is not a play that favors you.
Probably need to get at least 10 more yards to try to set up a kick, and they're going to go to Barker on the outside.
He caught it.
Was he able to haul it in? He did. Oh, what a catch out there by Ethan Barker. Oh my, down at the 4-yard line, just a little fade route. Aiden Ives put all kinds of air underneath it. Barker went up and snatched it out of thin air.
Yeah, he, nice one-on-one move. And Ives just put up there for his big receiver to go get. He went and got it. And Coach Merchant is trying to argue his case. Like I said, that far official, I don't think he's going to be getting a Christmas card from Chippewa Valley football anytime soon.
Merchant's got to be asking how in the world
that's like the 4th call.
Barker was able to stay in bounds.
So
he
the
had
referee,
a defender right there, and you would have thought that.
Yeah. Well, the coverage wasn't bad. He made a heck of a catch. The fact that how he was able to come down is even more astonishing. It was just a great play. But the referee signaled that it was timeout Eisenhower, and really it was timeout Big Reds. So Big Reds with 2 timeouts left. Ike still has 1 in the bag, but now they're knocking on the 4. And Big Red defense here has got to hold them out of the end zone. They have just gone on the field with a blink of an eye, 76 yards.
So they haven't changed the timeout situation. They still got 3 up for Chippewa Valley and none remaining for Eisenhower, and that's a big difference. They're going to go to the fade once again. Barker unable to come down with that one, and this is a play that they ran quite a bit near the goal line against Lake Orion. This is just a little fade route to the back of the end zone. And
yeah, that was a nice job by Deshaun. He won that battle after losing the last one. He stayed on him, got his hands all up to disrupt him. That sailed off of his hands out of bounds and bring up 2nd down. They've liked to throw that little hitch route, almost like that back shoulder throw. And Deshaun did a nice job of staying home on it. It's a little easier now for the defense in terms of not getting beat deep because everything's so condensed.
DeMassey to Aiden Ives left. Barker up top once again. They fake the jump throw, and he's going to hit his running back. We got a flag on the play. The touchdown catch was made by Daniel Slizgowski.
That was
But
thrown
wait
by
a
the
second.
official. Hold on. That's going to negate the touchdown.
That play was slow to develop, wasn't it? Very
was.
slow to develop, and that's why he had the holding call.
It was a fake handoff, and he wanted to throw almost like the old Florida Gator jump throw.
Tebow play.
And ended up throwing, and the running back continued it basically into a wheel, and he hit him wide open in the end zone. But I could call him for a hold. This is huge because now instead of a touchdown and be on the 4, from the 4, you're all the way out to the 16. No, they're gonna mark it. Yeah, 16-yard line. Whoa.
So you not only wipe off points, but you get backed up 12 yards. Second down and goal to go. They're gonna spread them out. 4 wide receivers set now for Aiden Ives. He drops back, feels it, scampers out to his left, evades the first set of pressure and finds a wide open receiver. Touchdown Eisenhower, Jackson DeMassey. And Scott Merchant looking to the referee. He thought maybe perhaps Aiden Ives had stepped over the line of scrimmage, I believe.
That's what happens too when you break contain. That corner had to come up and play support, and that he'll leave the receiver wide open, and he just hit him in the end zone.
So a 17-yard touchdown.
Well, the Eagles, after not being able to move the ball most of the game deep enough, go a minute 31, go 80 yards down the field.
Julian Lee's extra point is a line drive through the uprights. And it is now 14-7, the most impressive drive of the game for Eisenhower, to say the least. Results in 6 points as Aiden Ives delivered a ball right on the money to a wide open Jackson DeMassey.
Well, that was huge because, the Big Reds had just gone up 14-0. We did make mention about Big Reds getting the opening kickoff to start the second half. And the Eagles answer without a doubt, their biggest drive of the game, putting 7 on the board just before halftime. And that's going to shape up for a very interesting second half now, Brad.
So they go 80 yards, as you mentioned, in about a minute 20. Got it all the way out to midfield on 2 plays, and then calm, cool, and collected. Aiden Ives in relief. Senior has been good. Hasn't been asked to do a lot, but when asked to make plays, he's done it with his legs and his arm. Eisenhower right in this football game is nearly at the halftime break here on Chippewa Valley Cable. Brad Fetters, Jeff Vitale. An outstanding Friday night. Everything we could have hoped for in the opening game of the MAC Reds season.
And we've made mention to it twice. You really got to take your hat off to Ives, who's played, I think, an outstanding half, especially that drive, the way he got them down the field there and made a great play with his feet and then threw the touchdown there. And that is just a big answer by that Eisenhower offense as the Big Reds were seeming to take control of this game.
It's a short kick. 11.1 seconds left.
I mean, I get the pooch kick about, you don't want to kick it deep to some of those guys, but
Eisenhower kicker by number.
You got the Big Reds have 2 timeouts left. They can easily hit a 20, 25-yard pass here and have a shot to go at the end zone. You have enough time for 2 plays there, especially with the arm that Schuster has.
And Ahmed Basic, a terrific place kicker as well.
Wynette is back.
And according to the scoreboard here, Chippewa Valley has all 3 timeouts. So they must have, that last timeout must have been called by Eisenhower. So,
well, it was called by, it was done early and the referee changed. It should be 2-1. The Big Reds have 2, the Ike has 1.
And this side judge is looking up at the scoreboard. The referee's looking back as well. And I think the Chippewa Valley coaching staff is seeking clarification on how many timeouts they have as well. I think this is what the holdup is right now.
They took time off the clock on the fair catch, which shouldn't have been. It should be 11.9.
Okay, so that's what we're worried about. Okay.
And yeah, there you go. Now you got 11 point. Yeah, there should be no time off the clock because he did make a fair catch on the pooch kick.
So it wasn't a timeout issue.
Right.
It was the game clock.
But even if the clock is wrong, the referees on the cards have it. So yeah,
Yep.
so they're not gonna worry about fighting that battle right now. But it should be interesting, like really playing back. So
a little bit of a prevent defense here. Schuster scans the field, fires a dart right to a Eisenhower safety. Wow. Blake Harmon, the junior.
Yeah, it was a good ball, just was a little out more in front of him, and the safety that was again just playing center field comes up and make a great interception, and 7.3 seconds to go in the half. This has been an eventful minute 40, the last minute 40 first half.
And that Eisenhower student section now making some noise, and why not? Because they have all of a sudden grabbed a little bit of momentum. You answer the Chippewa Valley Big Red touchdown with a touchdown of your own, and now you come up with an interception of Ryan Schuster. And we'll see what Eisenhower plans on doing here. They got trips to Aiden Ives left. Lone wide receiver at the very top of your screen, and now
I
we got a flag coming out. Somebody flinch up front, perhaps.
Eisenhower penalty, false start.
Yeah, that was thrown by the head referee. He saw something there really quick, whether it was an arm flinch by the offensive line, nothing that we could see from here, but nobody complaining, so it had to happen. I think if you're like here, you just run the ball, take that 14-7 lead in the half. You've really done a nice job of getting yourself back into this game. But what do I know?
Ives gonna throw. And he's gonna find Ethan Barker, who gets it right back to the initial line of scrimmage. So he picks up 5, and that will do it for the first half of play. An exciting first half of play sees the Big Reds out in front of the Eisenhower Eagles, 14-7. Jeff, your thoughts on the first half of play?
Well, I mean, the first 22 minutes and 20 seconds was all Chippewa Valley, and the last minute 40 was all Eisenhower, and now we just got a touchdown game. So going to be very interesting to see. Obviously, you got halftime now to make some adjustments. Big Reds are going to get the ball to start the second half. You know, we'll see what both teams come out with here, but if the Big Reds can come out and take another 14-point lead again, you know, Ike might think they have something going here, spreading the Big Reds out, throwing the ball around like they just did. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes.
Quick break here on Chippewa Valley Cable, but when we come back, it'll be the start of the second half of play. Don't go anywhere. Hey. Mr. Nielsen.
Is getting ready to perform. The Majors, Harrison Lagasa, Goslin Blanks, and Seth Cooper. Is your band ready? Ladies and gentlemen, your Chippewa Valley Big Reds Marching Band. Chippewa Valley Big Reds Marching Band. And folks, the Big Reds Marching Band will be featured this Sunday, September 12th at 1:30 p.m. at the Richmond Good Old Days.
Welcome back to Chippewa Valley High School. Friday Night Lights, outstanding start to the MAC Reds season here. Chippewa Valley Big Reds out in front of the Eisenhower Eagles 14-7. Brad Futters alongside Jeff Vitale. And Jeff, Chippewa Valley will get the opening possession of the second half, up 7, but those Eisenhower Eagles that snatched away momentum in the second half of that first half.
Yeah, the Big Reds really looked like they were going to start to run away with this thing, and the Eagles answered with a big-time drive. And really now, when you're it's anyone's game. I'm very interested to see how this first drive, the second half, is going to go with the Big Reds coming out and see if they can kind of seize control of the game back, because Coach Wilson wasn't happy at halftime with that defense giving up an 80-yard drive in a minute 40.
Eisenhower was able to move the football. They just weren't able to cash in any of those drives. And you mentioned an 80-yard drive that took less than a minute and a half at the very end of the first half, put Eisenhower on the scoreboard for the first time. And look out, there's all kinds of speed there.
Yeah, that's a guy you really don't want to touch the ball. Ask Catholic Central how that went.
Smart herd.
But, I'll tell you what, though. I know he got it out close to 41, but Ike did a nice job of kind of bottling him in there, because if you give him a daylight on a sideline, forget it. He's a national champion 200-meter runner and long jumper. He's no slowpoke.
You wonder when they're going to get him more involved in the offensive side of things.
Hey, here's your answer. How they're going to come out? They're going to come out ground and pound, goal line defense. I like it.
And it's going to be Cephas Harris. You hear those pads popping down there. Just line them up and go to town. And Cephas Harris able to pick up 8 yards there on first down.
Actually, I think that was Mitchell who ran the ball. I don't think Harris got the ball. Actually, no, I'm sorry. That was Hawkins who ran the ball.
Darren Hawkins, you're right.
Cephas was pulling guys out of the pile. I'm like, number 7 to get the ball? How is that possible? But that's a nice run by Hawkins up there, and I like it. Ike's a little smaller up front. The Big Reds said, all right, we're going to come out and punch in the mouth second half. So I like the adjustment.
And this is the exact offense that we saw near the goal line last week.
Oh, boy.
This will be Cephas Harris. Look out. He's got the left side. Oh, boy. Eisenhower's not going to be able to catch him. He walks it into the end zone.
Oh. All right, I'm just going to say it. I love watching this kid run. You know what? Every time you think he is down, he's gone. And it just, good Lord. That's so much fun to watch. He makes any coach look like an absolute genius with some of the plays that he can make athletically. And most people may not know this if you didn't go to attend any basketball games. He's got a heck of a jump shot too, Brad.
Sure does. Lots of ups as well, and 49 yards there on the scamper,
right.
And he made it look easy. Just a straight play up the middle. He's able to cut it out to the outside, and Eisenhower had no answer for him. And the linebacker core came up empty, and the secondary had no shot.
I can tell you, when we had to play him in middle school for basketball, it was not good times, okay?
And he's on the sidelines, and he just kind of shrugged his shoulders. He gave the old Michael Jordan shrug.
Yeah, when he made those threes, he just puts his shoulders up. He was bottled up, and all of a sudden he's got 160-some yards rushing like that.
So Chippewa Valley says anything you can do, we can do better. We're just going to line it up, just go ground and pound, and they do just that. Took them 3 plays to find the end zone. And Cephas Harris' 3rd touchdown of the game gives him now 10 on the season. We're just 2.5 games into the season. Just unbelievable.
Yeah, the numbers he's put up, and again, the 4-game, he really ran all over him, but against Catholic Central and now Ike, he's put up some serious numbers against quality
Good
competition. Yeah, they're not playing the little sisters of the poor. These are quality teams.
Nope, no cupcakes. And don't forget, he didn't play the entire second half of that game against Ford.
No.
There was a running clock, and Coach Merchant rested a lot of his starters in the second half of that game.
Oh, that should be a block in the back. 19 on the far side just crushed the Big Red tackler there, going to make a tackle right in the back, and there was no flag.
So back to work now for the Ike Eagles. Aiden Ives, the quarterback, has been solid. He has been good.
Very good.
for Coach Smith.
Or maybe it wasn't, Brad. I tend to be a little biased from time to time, but, it's all right. No, Aiden Ives has played a great game. We're going to see what the Eagles now have come up with the second half, because I thought he's managed the game extremely well at the quarterback position.
Ives barks out the signals, pump fake, flips one out. Easy pitch and catch out there to Jackson Demasi.
Yeah, they're really attacking Starks on that hitch route. They're really going after him. The Big Red's giving up a little cushion over there on that side, and that's about the 4th or 5th time Ike's gone to that route.
We talked about it. It's not really anything complicated, this Eisenhower offense, but it's getting the job done. They're getting themselves into good situations on 2nd and 3rd down, and the ball carrier barrels his way. It's Christian Johnson, the junior, near the 1st down marker. I think they'll give it to him.
Yeah, nice job on the sweep there. Hawkins did a nice job of driving his defender up, but once he cut it up, he already had the 1st down. The Eagles moved the chains.
All this misdirection in the backfield, it's got to be a nightmare for the defensive players, but it's an absolute nightmare for the broadcasters up here in the press box, trying to keep track of who's got the football.
I mean, you got to play assignment football to about 100% perfection. It really stresses out a defense.
3 wide receivers to Ives' right. He takes the shotgun snap, and he'll go out to the left. Ooh.
Oh, nice move.
Missed tackles aplenty. That's Jackson Demasi once again.
I mean, I thought he was going to get crushed at the line of scrimmage for no gain, and he ended up pulling 9 out of that. It's just some nifty moves. Seeing the ball come into your chest, knowing a defender's coming at you, and then have the wherewithal to make a couple jukes, and next thing you know, you turn a 2nd and 10 into a 2nd and 1. That's a great athletic play.
A little shake and bake on the outside there by Demasi. Just moving those hips. Demasi back at the top of the formation once again for Ike. Shotgun set. They're going to send Cardamone in motion.
Keep.
Ives is going to keep it to the left side. He's going to gain the Chippewa Valley side of the 50, and he's going to get inside the 40. Terrific
nice
QB keeper there.
You fake that handoff, and basically you got almost like a double ISO for the quarterback, and did a nice job, Ives did, of hitting that hole and getting a lot out of it. And the Eagles got something going here as they now have breached the inside the 40-yard line of Chippewa Valley. Really got something going here. Come out and start the second half. Both teams have come out swinging. I guess the feeling out process is over, huh?
And we talked about the adjustments made at halftime, and clearly Chippewa Valley recognized something and went to a straight run game to start this second half, and it's these just quick little hitch passes. Once again, Demasi on that outside, so they're feeding him the football, and why not? He's been picking up 7-8 yards a play.
Yeah, they're really just taking what the Big Red defenses get them, being very patient, getting down the field here. And when you can gain 8 yards on 1st down, boy, that really allows you to do a lot of things offensively that the defense really doesn't like. So, we've seen the Eagles try to go up top. With that near side receiver so far, you might see a slant here. Or a sweep.
Ives is going to keep it. Oh, he stays on his feet somehow. Changes direction. Up to the 20, to the 15, finally ushered out of bounds.
Well, that's just a good fundamental rule of running the football, is not stopping your feet, and never gave up on it, which we've seen Trey Harris do so many times this year. And Ives making a play, and the Eagles in the red zone, knocking on the door here, trying to answer the Big Red touchdown. Really got a nice flow going offensively.
Only the second time in this football game they've been in the red zone. And they're able to cash in from 17 yards out on a pitch and catch to Jackson Demasi. So Demasi's been his receiver, and this guy's been awesome as well. That's Ethan Barker. Easy touchdown pass for Aiden Ives. punch, counter punch to start the second half.
Yeah, the Big Reds came out, less than a minute, put 7 up on the board. The Eagles come right back, and pretty much just a little over 2 minutes and answer. And what seemed to be a defensive battle now is turning into just an offensive slugfest.
So this too will be a 17-yard touchdown pass. Aiden Ives to Ethan Barker. Barker able to get past the cornerback. And able to get into the end zone. The point after touchdown is good. And it is now the Chippewa Valley Big Reds, the 21, the Eisenhower Eagles 14. So really impressive stuff offensively there for Eisenhower on their first drive of the second half. Ends up covering 73 yards. So Aiden Ives, really solid. He's typically a wide receiver. We talked about it throughout this football game that Preston Crum was a freshman a season ago, played all kinds of varsity action, was the starting quarterback week 1 against Lake Orion, goes down to an injury, and Aiden Ives gets thrust into action and was really good a week ago against L'Anse Creuse North as they won 30-0 and has continued that momentum into play here against a terrific opponent in Chippewa Valley.
Yeah, no, obviously week 2 playing a much lesser opponent, got some things to get him some confidence, but I think he's played outstanding here tonight, and with his decision making, his feet, has just kept them in the game, and they've done a nice job of using their 2 big wide receivers and that hitch route, and then all of a sudden you hit him on a hitch and go, and this Eagle offense is playing pretty well, and with the defense that they have, I know they're having nightmares about trying to tackle number 7 right now, but for the most part, except for some of those big plays they've given up, they've played actually well defensively, except for the 3 long runs Trey Harris has under his belt.
And these were 2 competitive games, extremely competitive games last season. 21-20 victory for Eisenhower in the regular season, and then Chippewa Valley got some revenge big time in the playoffs with the 21-14 win.
Oh, late flag coming in. That was thrown all the way from the back, judge, or head official. Way back there. Hold.
Going to go against Chippewa Valley, so it's going to back them up. Boy, you want to talk about a perennial power, you got to talk about this Eisenhower team, don't you? 7 straight playoff appearances, have made the playoffs in 21 of the last 22 years. The only time in those 22 years they failed to make the playoffs was back in 2013, and they went 5-4 that year and just barely missed the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, very fine tradition they have over there. So many great players over the years. Several players playing Mid-American Conference, Big Ten football, a few going on to the pros. A very, very, very storied past and tradition over at Eisenhower. Oh, Jesus.
Boy, he's still on his feet all the way up to the 35. Unreal.
He's down, and the next thing you know, he scoots out for 5-6 yards. And it's all the time.
It's like a little pinball out there, isn't he? Bing, 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 bing. Just racking up those points.
What do you got to do to get this guy to the ground?
Well, he's got such a low center of gravity, too.
And he's just so strong. Just his balance is amazing.
Must do Pilates, huh? Yoga.
He's doing something I ain't doing, that's for sure.
He gets cut down this time. Terrific tackle. Number 48, Dominic Ferrero.
Yeah, that's a nice job. That's really what you want to do against Cephas is you really don't want to let him get going. As soon as he stopped his feet to make a cut, he cut him right out from underneath and dropped him for a little bit of loss. And the Big Reds came out and really just started to punch Eisenhower in the face, and now they've gone back to more of the spread out. That kind of helps Ike a little bit just with their team speed. They just don't have the size up front to handle the bigs of Chippewa Valley. And 3rd and 3 here. Still have a lot of plays available in the playbook here. Bring the fullback in, the H-back.
Now we get a timeout call by Chippewa Valley. Play clock was inching down to 0. And the last pass that Ryan Schuster threw, don't forget, was intercepted.
It was.
He hasn't been asked to do a whole heck of a lot. He hasn't been as sharp as we have seen him. We kind of really put the accolades on him in the prior to the start of tonight's game. We talked about his 77% completion percentage and his QB rating, Jeff, coming into tonight's play was 150.9. If you got to kind of put that into perspective, a perfect score is 158.3.
Yeah.
So nearly a perfect quarterback rating coming into play tonight.
Yeah, that's not bad. I'm sure he might be throwing a little stats at Big Brother going, hey, look at this.
3 touchdown passes coming into play tonight. No interceptions through his first, obviously, here tonight. But
Big Brother does have something on him yet that he does not have.
State title ring.
Exactly. So no matter what he can throw at him, he just flashed that little gold. And, time will tell. But, this is a team that can definitely make a run. They're talented. They are deep. They're big up front. They're very quick on defense. They got good special teams, great kicking game. It's a very balanced football team that can seriously do some damage.
Yeah, this MAC Red really making some noise now at the state level, and for Chippewa Valley to kind of get off the snide and win that 2018 state title. Cephas Harris just bulldozing people.
I mean, what do you do as a defense? Tap out? Because nothing works. And just when you think you got him, you dropped him for a loss. He comes off tackle, bounces it out. Next thing you know, he's moving the chains. Got to be so frustrating as a defense just because just when you think you make a great play and you slow him down, he then gets you for 15, 16, 17 yards. You just can't let your guard down with him because he just does not go down easily.
I'm going to give it to him again, and why not? Just keep feeding him. Let him eat. Another first down run there for Cephas Harris.
Tremendous field vision, gets up into the hole. Well, one referee marked it at 9-yard gain. The other one's telling him to move the chains.
So Harris will catch a breather on the sidelines. They sub in Zion Mitchell.
Yeah, he has definitely earned a breather. He's got to be approaching close to that 200-yard mark.
They bring in a fullback as well to supply an extra blocker now for Mitchell. Schuster.
Right.
3 wide receivers set. And they'll give Mitchell, he plunges ahead for a couple.
And he's no slouch at running back either. And you can then bring in Hawkins, who had a big-time run tonight, too. I mean, you got 3 running backs, not to mention the receiving core.
And it's an abundance of riches at the skill position for Chippewa Valley. And you got to think that they're going to be around in the state playoffs. Obviously, a lot of intangibles that come into play, and you just want to stay healthy, and a lot of things out of Scott Merchant's control, especially in COVID times.
Yeah, last year was very tough. You look at the record, but again, we've said it 100 times. Those 4 losses were those games could have gone anyway. Obviously you take that as a chip on your shoulder coming in, and at least it's looked that way so far. But I'm just waiting to see because the Big Reds have just been pound, and those safeties are coming up, and eventually Ryan Schuster's going to pull one and fire one deep to either Altamirano, Ernat, any one of those weapons that he can kind of hit it too deep. And here comes now goal line back to going power here.
And timeout called by Eisenhower. Yeah, you mentioned those 4 losses a season ago, and we touched on this a week ago, but it's worth mentioning again. He had a 9-point loss to Dakota, a 4-point loss to Grosse Pointe South, a 1-point loss to these Eagles, and then the 7-point loss in the playoffs. So just basically coin flip games for all 4 losses a season ago for Scott Merchant and the Chippewa Valley Big Reds.
Right, and so close in points, could have gone either way. In the Dakota game, the Cougars had a lot of control, especially with that Wildcat. They so big and so strong. But, I mean, the playoff game, they led at one point. They had control of the game. The running back went off on them for quite a bit of yards there in the Stony Creek game, I believe it was.
Yep, Stony Creek, yep.
And, I mean, they were in every game. No one really came in and pounded them. And, you know, with a lot of these kids coming back, playing with a chip on their shoulder, and obviously, you know, really worked hard all summer, you can kind of see how that's paid off. And 3rd and 1 here, Eagles had to get some personnel. That a couple guys came off the field that weren't supposed to, and now they got in who they like.
Harris is on the field.
3 yards and a cloud of dust. Oh, there's no clouds of dust anymore when you have turf.
Yeah, it's rubber pellets.
Black pellets.
That was Darren Hawkins that time.
3 yards and a cloud of rubber.
The old ground up tires is the way it used to be. I don't know if they're, I can't imagine they're still using recycled tires.
They're actually like little, almost black
beads?
little rubber balls now, almost like,
Chippewa Valley first down on the 23-yard line. First and 10.
So this is that T formation that we saw quite a bit. Oh, good penetration there by Eisenhower. They jumped that snap. Christian Johnson in ahead of the play. Wow.
Yeah, 33 came flying through the hole, and an official timeout here. Someone have to come off helmet.
Big number 73, Brandon Schrader out of the game.
The Big Red's bringing out a host of receivers here, going to try to spread things out. 2nd and long, trying to get at least maybe half of that back and get into a 3rd manageable.
4:19 now left to go, 3rd quarter of play. The two teams have traded touchdowns on their only possessions of the 2nd half. Big Reds out in front, 21-14. Everything you could have hoped for in the kickoff to the MAC Red season. So glad you decided to tune us in tonight here on Chippewa Valley Cable. Brad Fetters, Jeff Vitale, Schuster. Going to flip one out to Harris short. It might have been deflected.
Yeah, I think so. Number 7 for the Eagles. Luke Ariel came in there, got his big hands up on it, knocked it down. What they were doing is Ernak came down the block. They were going to throw Cephas on a little wheel route. They really had it set up nice. But, again, nice job there by that defensive end to knock it down a little bit and break up the play. And the Big Reds are now looking at 3rd and long, which, again, not extremely favorable.
Home crowd making some noise, trying to urge their Big Reds on. All important 3rd down, 3rd and 12. The line to gain is the 13-yard line. Schuster in the shotgun. 4 wide receiver set. Eisenhower brings some pressure. A little dump off to Harrison. He just absolutely forearmed Luke Myers to the ground.
That was the hit-E and the hit-er, and Cephas Harris was the hit-er. Good Lord. 4th and 1 here. I definitely think when you're in 2-down territory, got a lot back on that. And we'll see here, though, last time through, get ahead on number 33. He ate this formation up on the last time.
So it's Hawkins and Harris, and we get a timeout called by the Eagles. They're going to want to talk things over here, and why not? They saw the formation as Mitchell, Hawkins, and Harris all came out in that running back position, that little 3-headed monster back there. And
Cephas was on the near side, so maybe thinking maybe a little off tackle to the far side there. And but Ike has now burned 2 timeouts in the 3rd quarter here, and as this game goes on, if it stays close, don't have a lot of options with the timeouts as you get near the end of the game. So we'll see if this pays off here for Eisenhower. The chess match continues. This is kind of the fun part of coaching. You're trying to one up the guys on the other sidelines here, and you're trying to put your best against their best and put your guys in a situation where you have a little bit of advantage somewhere. And that's the fun part of coaching football. That a lot of people really don't kind of understand when they sit and watch a football game. It is that back and forth.
Chippewa Valley's just going to bring out the same personnel, and why not? It's worked for them all season long. They love running these plays inside the 5-yard line, short yardage situations.
I think you're going up to the right there off tackle.
And it's Cephas Harris to the right side, and he's just going to use all that conditioning and strength that he picks up in the weight room to pick up that 1st down. That was just a heart and soul 1st down. They had him stopped, and he just dug in and pushed forward.
You only need a yard. You just tell your workhorse, go get us a yard, move the chains, let's keep this going. And that's what he did. When you follow those big uns up there up front, boy, just definitely makes your life a little easier, doesn't it?
I think everybody in the stadium knew who that football was going to, and it didn't matter.
There's a lot of personnel in and out here. I like trying to figure out what's going on.
Eisenhower's all kinds of confused here, and Schuster's going to take advantage of that.
A lot of confusion. Zach Ernat is the beneficiary there on the Schuster recognized it, fires a big touchdown, and the Big Reds go up 2 touchdowns. Coach Smith not happy.
First touchdown pass of the night for Ryan Schuster does go to his senior captain, Zach Ernat. Eisenhower late to get a player onto the field, all kinds of confusion, and Schuster, the vet, snapped that football as quick as he could and found Ernat wide open.
Well, number 73 was running to the sidelines. I guarantee you he was in the corner that left Zach Ernat wide open.
No, that's true. That is true. Helmet on helmet, right? You just got a man up there, and
I mean, he's 6'3". How do you not see him on a football field? It's not like, he's 5'5".
That could probably hide.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how good I can hide out there. I'm gonna be honest, Brad, but those lights kind of shine off my head a little bit. Tough for me to hide.
There's even a little bit of a glare up here in the press box, to be honest, off that ball dome of yours.
The lights go off. If I can just get at the right angle, we're okay up here. So.
Not quite a full moon. In fact, there's not much of a moon out there.
No.
28-14, so 2 drives for Chippewa Valley here in the third quarter, both resulting in touchdowns. 73 yards to pay dirt on this last drive, and the last little bit there from Schuster to Ernat.
In the first half, that was fairly quiet. This third quarter, we've had an eruption offensively.
Well, you just knew that Eisenhower wasn't going to be able to keep this Chippewa Valley offense quiet for too long, as that one will roll into the end zone. We'll have an automatic touchback. So Eisenhower going to put the ball in play here from the 20-yard line. Previous drive resulted in a touchdown. They too went 73 yards, the final 17 yards covered on the touchdown pass from Aiden Ives, one of his favorite receivers, Ethan Barker.
Yeah, nice little double move there. That the Eisenhower passing game, has really been pretty effective tonight.
Yeah, they really haven't got much going on the ground. Is right on cue. They hand off to Silzowski. Got back to the line of scrimmage, nothing more.
And again, I know we've said it a couple times, but a tip of the cap to Aiden Ives, who we both agreed has played an outstanding football game up to this point. Just managing the game. Obviously the big plays of Cephas Harris, and unfortunately for Ike, that last defensive communication, which led to another Big Red touchdown, has put them in a hole where they're chasing 2 touchdowns again.
It's got to be so hard defensively if you're the Eisenhower Eagles to just know that Cephas Harris just has a big run in him at all times. It has to be so hard to defend.
Barker doing a nice job there, sitting down in the zone as Ives was scrambling to his right, just found an opening and sat down for him, and he found his big wide receiver there for a nice first down.
And more importantly, making sure he got past the first down markers before he sat down in that route. So good route running there by Ethan Barker, the senior.
Well, and you talk about how, the tradition of making the playoffs, that's because you just got a lot of football players that play at a young age. So you got a lot of guys when they get to the varsity have a high football IQ.
Yeah,
and
smart
that's
players.
how you can have that kind of success.
Oh, that's a very dangerous pass.
Darren Hawkins was maybe a centimeter or 2 away from grabbing that and taking it to the house.
They lose 2. They kind of had a bunch set down at the bottom of your screen, and Chippewa Valley able to jump that route, nearly came away with an interception. So bring up a second down and long, second down and 12 1 minute now left to go, third quarter of play. 28-14, Big Reds in front of the Eagles. One of these teams is going to go 1-0 in MAC Red play. A little dump-off pass.
Oh, another missed tackle.
Bennett Cardamone turns upfield and will finally get met by a whole host of Big Reds.
Missed tackle probably cost the Big Reds about 7 yards as Cardamone really turned it up there. And, instead of a 2nd and long or 3rd and long, now you got a 3rd and 5. Very, very manageable 3rd and 5.
Clock continues to tick down, under 30 seconds remaining in the third quarter. What about the crowd here tonight? Both sides nearly filled the capacity on Cancer Awareness Night.
Yeah, this is MAC Red football at its finest, and as filled as this is, this will pale in comparison to next week down at Dakota Stadium, as that place will be standing room only. You can bet your bottom dollar, but this has been a great night of high school football.
Oh boy, should have handed that one off. Read option play, he kept it instead and met his match in the backfield.
Adam McCreary just cleaned his clock, and Ives zigged when he should have zagged, and Ethan McCreary introduced himself to Mr. Ives.
So you wanted some excitement, you got it in that third quarter. Chippewa Valley, 2 touchdown drives. Ike answered back with a touchdown drive of their own, and now need to come up with some sort of answer here on 4th down. It's going to be a decision. Down 14 points. It's going to be about a 4th and 8. Jeff, do you punt the football away here? I mean, you're kind of pinned back in your own 33.
I mean, it's tough. I mean, you're down 2 scores. It's been, you might be at a point where they're going to punt here. By the way, Detroit King up 29-19 on Cass Tech at the half.
Wow. That would be a huge upset.
Well, especially after they came off the drubbing and they gave Muskegon.
Yeah, Muskegon, one of the state's best. You can just pencil them in for the Thanksgiving weekend at Ford Field seemingly every single season.
Nice punt.
And fair catch called for and made at the 42-yard line. Yeah.
Trying to scroll through the Twitter here to see some scores. It's been a quiet night on the Twitter. Usually it's not. Twitter fans not in mid-season form right now, Brad.
Nope.
It's a little disappointing.
Slow with the typing fingers.
Man. Got to step up your social media game, Michigan. Let's go.
Too many tight ball games maybe tonight. Edge of your seat thrillers.
Maybe they're too busy biting their fingernails to be able to type on the keyboard. I don't know.
Sure, there's some Eisenhower Eagle fans that are feeling that way right now as they're watching Cephas Harris run up and down this football field. He's like a bowling ball, just knocking down defenders.
Yeah, he's just something to watch. I mean,
so far I've compared him to a pinball.
Barry Sanders.
Barry Sanders. I've compared him to a bowling ball. What else?
I mean, you could throw a Super Ball into the mix. How he bounces. I mean, it's quite an array of objects, and all of them are correct. As he just continues to pile up yards, and just when you think you got him down, he regains his balance and he's down the sideline for 4 or 5 more yards. And as a defensive coordinator, I mean, unless you can just run all 11 guys right at him, how do you stop him?
Well, yeah, and then you got Schuster that can make pretty much every throw. There's Harris once again. You want to hear another one? Marshawn Lynch, right? Lynch just refused to go down. There's some highlight reel runs of Marshawn Lynch, and it's similar. I mean, Harris gets bottled up in the backfield, and he's still somehow able to pick up 9-10 yards.
But then as he squirts through, he cannot run into the end zone, which, especially for a power back, it's usually one or the other, and he's got the combination of both. And one of the few players I've seen in the league that is also built like that is Caden Sloan over at Dakota. So,
sure.
I mean, 2 very similar running backs that like to run the same way.
Another heavy dose. Cephas Harris. He falls forward, too. Don't forget that. A good, smart running back always falls forward.
When we talk about Cephas, you got to give it up to that offensive line. I mean, they're putting that defensive line on skates. And they've also done a great job tonight, too, of getting second level, which is why you're seeing Cephas get through the hole and be able to make the cuts he's got, because those big boys up front are doing a nice job of getting second level and putting hats on hats, and there's just nothing left but safeties to try to make a tackle on number 7.
And all these running plays continue to run the clock down. And Eisenhower may not even have enough possessions remaining in this football game to make this a contest.
That was a great trap block there by number 37, Ethan Neep. Came down from his fullback spot, trapped the end. Everyone kicked down. Harris hit the middle there and moved the chains. The Big Reds doing just a nice job. Just beat. This Eisenhower defense has got to be tired now, especially since he's gotten going. But those big guys up front are really just wearing out this poor defense, which we've seen them do to Catholic Central, Ford, and now Eisenhower. So,
well, and Schuster's only had to throw the ball, what, twice in the second half?
Yeah, he has not had to throw the ball much.
A little read option there, and they're going to hand it to him again. And this time he does get hit and sent back.
Nice job there by the Ike defense to answer, but
Cody Raymond in on the tackle.
As a defense, when he just starts racking the yards like that, you're looking around like, what we got to do? Now you're like, thank God he's coming out for a play, but
Zion Mitchell will stay in the game at the tailback position, and clock just continues to tick down. 9.5 minutes remaining.
This is where Coach Merchant and Coach Denright really like to grind it up now, take their time, beat on them, make that offense work with less clock, because now you're pretty much at the point now where you got to abandon your original game plan if you're Eisenhower, and you got to start firing the ball.
6 down linemen come in, and they make the stop.
Big number 78. Looked like 78. I don't see a 78 on the roster.
Yeah, no
or 76 maybe.
Joseph Leone, number 76.
Yeah, he came down inside, and when Mitchell got that ball, just laid into him and dropped him for a 3-yard loss there. Now we got 3rd and long for the Big Reds.
Ball's on the left hash, 30-yard line. 3rd and 11. Eisenhower showing all kinds of pressure once again. Schuster barks out the play call. Gets it. 5-step drop. Will have to roll out now to his right. Looks downfield. He's got an open receiver who dropped it. He wanted to make sure he got his 2 feet in. He toe tapped and dropped the football.
That was an amazing job. That's Maddox to get 2 feet in. Just couldn't hold on the ball. What an effort. Well, this is what we talked about earlier. Now you get to see the foot. I'm in basic because I think they're going to put the T down here.
And it'll match his jersey number.
You're talking about a 49-yard field goal, maybe 47?
Yep, 47 will match his number. The ball spotted at the 30.
He hit one at Wayne State. That would have been good from 67.
And no breeze now this late in the day.
No. Wind is down.
It'll be on the left hash. Yep, it'll be spotted at the 37. You add 10 for the field goal post being 10 yards deep in the end zone, so this will be a 47-yard effort. And this is faith in your kicker, folks. And it blocked. And it'll roll over the goal line. Well, no harm, no foul, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, he's got the leg to do it. You know, nice job by Eisenhower really penetrating up the middle there, able to get the hand on the football and, you know, avoid the 3 points. But the Big Reds take a lot of chunk of time off the clock, and the Eisenhower offense is going to have to work fast, down 2 touchdowns. And now if you're the Big Red defense, that secondary can swarm, and when you got to take some chances, just play that ball. And, you know, anything can happen right here. We did see the Eagle defense offense cut down that field 80 yards and a $140 to end the half. So they have done it tonight.
This is Ike offense that really 2 back-to-back touchdowns to end the first half and to start the second. They were looking for a running back screen, and that one was sniffed out. Really well done by the Chippewa Valley Big Red defense.
Yeah, Cameron Frazier made the play, but I'll tell you this, that was made by McCreary. He is just putting all kind of pressure on the Ike quarterback, and Ives might be seeing 84 to sleep tonight because he has really had a heck of a second half, really putting the pressure on number 1.
3-yard loss brings up a 2nd down, 13 to go. Aves, designed rollout to his right, threw
Nice
it into
pass.
traffic, right on the money to Cardamone.
That's a fantastic pass.
That's hard to throw across your body like that.
Especially on the run to deliver it that accurate. Nice job on the crossing route. And he just laid it right in there. A beautiful ball, and Ike moves the chains. Said the Eisenhower passing game has been outstanding tonight. You know, Ives has played a fantastic game. You know, that defense doesn't give up some big plays. This is a tight ball game. Play action.
They're asking him to pass again. He's got a receiver open. Oh, what a
He
grab.
grabbed it.
Ethan Barker, he has been automatic as they come at that wide receiver position.
Yeah, the deep post, he puts it out there, number 4, and let your athlete go make a play. And sure enough, that's what he did. And the Eagles trying to match some big plays of their own now at the Big Red 32-yard line. Romeo up 14-10 on Dakota, 6:10 to go in the 4th quarter.
Tight ball game over there. A game that's getting a little tighter now with 6:40 left to go in the 4th quarter. Big Reds out in front, 28-14, urging their faithful to make some noise. Aiden Ives able to scamper out of the pocket, keeps the play alive, turns the corner, reaches out with the football, and gains 6 yards on 1st down. So it'll bring up a 2nd down and short. Aiden Ives just keeping that play alive with his feet.
Yeah, and when it's not there, instead of forcing it, like sometimes an experienced quarterback does, especially when you're playing out of position, does a nice job of using his feet, as athletic as he is, and making something out of nothing. And now you make it 2nd and 4 here, you get your offense another set of downs, and you open up your playbook. Like I said, his game management today has been outstanding.
4 wide receivers set. Oh, boy. Able to flip that off his back foot, and now he's going to tie his shoe.
It blew a tire there. It don't matter. He made a heck of a throw on. Make the 1st down.
He kind of just pulled up and chucked it. Was able to complete that. That was a crazy looking play.
Right. I mean, it almost looks like backyard football, but I mean,
And now he's hobbling as well.
You got to credit the Eisenhower offensive coordinators and offense just putting together a game plan that just fits the athlete of what you got behind center right now, and I mean it's working.
I think he came up a little lame after that long run to this near side, and now he's going to look for the end zone just out of the reach of Cardamone on the slant route.
Sometimes too, even on that last throw, if he would have done something there, when you jab like that in the turf, sometimes you tend to hyperextend or just kind of tweak a knee.
Sure.
That happens a lot too on this turf. It's not as forgiving as the dirt and grass. And
no, you kind of get stuck, don't you?
Right.
Boy.
As nice as it is, you don't get muddy or any of that fun stuff anymore. There are some drawbacks to playing on the turf.
Yeah, it's the Baltimore Ravens, right? They've lost 2 running backs to ACL injuries. Aiden Ives going to look outside to his sure-handed receivers. They come, Ethan Barker. That's been a play. That's been their bread and butter play right there. That's been their go-to when they've needed a big play. They toss it outside to Ethan Barker, outside those numbers, and he went up with it and just couldn't bring it down. Terrific coverage on the outside.
Yeah, that ball was just a little high, maybe just a little too high for him. Sometimes when you kind of get to that point, that apex, and you still can't see that football, it's hard to see that ball come in. But it doesn't help, too, when you got number 5 draped all over you either, Deshaun Starks.
Big play here on 3rd down, 3rd and 10. Ives cuts back. Oh, he had a receiver open, and he just underthrew him.
Yeah, that was a little sprint-out throwback, but Zion Mitchell was bearing down on him, and he really couldn't plant the throw. He was going to be buried, and comes 4th and long here. A field goal does you no good. It's still a 2-score game. You got to go for it, and we'll see if Coach Wilson dials up a blitz here or covers with 8 and just brings 3, because we did mention also earlier how the front 3 has been able to get pressure on the quarterback.
Wasting no time. Looking to the end zone. They got it. Oh!
And who?
Ethan Barker right on cue. Mr. Automatic, Mr. Sure-Handed.
Yeah, nice post route. We looked off the defense and then hit him on coming across on the post. And the Eagles on a huge drive make this a 7-point goal, an 8-point game with the extra point to come.
Third touchdown pass of the game for Aiden Ives. And it was that slant route this time to Ethan Barker. Barker's second touchdown reception of the game. And the extra point is good. And 6:03 left to go. We got ourselves a ball game. Don't look now, but it is a 1-touchdown game. Big Reds 28, Eagles 21.
Yeah, like I said, he's played an outstanding game. And Barker's been the man tonight. I mean, he every big play they've needed, he's made. And the Eagles aren't going away.
Sign of a well-coached team. Just no quit on that Eisenhower sideline. They go 80 yards after the blocked kick. Ahmed Basic was looking to extend the lead to 17. He had his kick blocked, and Eisenhower, 80-yard drive, coming up with a big conversion there.
Second 80-yard drive of the game. Not easy to do in this Big Red defense. Ike's done it twice tonight.
And they also had a 73-yard drive as well. So long, sustained drives for Eisenhower turning into points.
With a backup quarterback. Yep. Shows you how well the kids played tonight. And you got to tip your hat off to him. He's played a great game tonight.
Just a bunch of quick hitters. They haven't really made Aiden Ives throw the ball deep downfield, but when he's been asked to, he's delivered a well-thrown ball. So
now you wonder if the Eagles come out and really try to pack the box, try to make Schuster throw the. Oh, yeah, no. Little bunch kick, and they kind of showed their hand a little early. Might need to spend a few more reps on the practice field with that one. That was I like the idea, but the execution again was a little rough on that one.
Do you like the idea with 6:03 left to go?
Well, you haven't been able to stop them. You're trying to make hopefully line drive kick it where it can bounce off someone and get it back, especially since your offense just mowed the ball right down the field. Unfortunate to that, the other side, you give the Big Reds excellent field position, but you got to stop number 7. Maybe we see a play action here and a double move and maybe try to go up big here.
Ball's on the 47-yard line. Schuster in the shotgun, and it will do that. It is a play action fake and look out. Oh!
Boy.
Somebody looks like a genius in this press box.
It's almost like I'm BFFs with Coach Denreiter, huh? That was amazing how that worked out. Boy, he was wide open, just on the fingertips. Would have made a 2-score game.
Altamirano unable to haul the pass in.
What a ball by Ryan Schuster.
Perfectly thrown pass. Everybody in the press box is okay. You might have heard a loud crash, but we're okay. Schuster's going to wheel this one out to Cephas Harris.
Yeah, that'll work. Just give the ball to number 7.
Late flag came in as
Real
well.
late.
Probably going to be a personal foul against somebody. Some extracurriculars after the play was dead.
Uh-oh. Yeah. Unsportsmanlike. Coach Washburn giving it to the player, not happy. So the question is if it's the timing of the penalty. Is it after the play? Was it during the play? It looks like they're walking it back from line of scrimmage. So the end of the play. So after the play. So the run counts, and then they walk off 15. And the down marker's trying to get set.
And it will remain first down. So the result of the play was a first down. So you move them back the yardage after the end of the run, and the down will still remain first.
It becomes 1st and 10. You're just a little further backed up because of the unsportsmanlike penalty.
And the clock continues to run now.
Oh, Paul, there you go. First time we've seen that tonight.
Schuster's going to plow ahead. He's going to be close to a first down, maybe about a yard short.
I was wondering when that's going to happen because they've really been biting on Cephas all night, and then, you know, it's a zone read. If the end bites down, the quarterback pulls, and Ryan pulled and got 8 yards, and, you know, kind of a fairly easy 8 yards, but, you know, he's a big kid. He's not an easy boy to bring down either.
Second down and 2. Schuster will hand off to Harris this time. Barrels ahead.
He's got to be over 200 now.
Easily.
I mean, just
easily. Had an 86-yard touchdown run back in the first quarter to give them a 7-0 lead. Had a 15-yard run.
just breaks your spirit as a defensive player that just every time you think you got him, he just chunks one off on you. It's really got to just demoralize you.
49-yard run for a touchdown. And then Schuster with one touchdown pass. Zach Ernett. 4.5 left to go.
Well,
Cephas Harris going to go down this time.
Great job, number 32. Cardamone. He's made some big plays all night for him, offensively as well. But now on defense, they had him really bubbled in. There was nowhere for him to go. Great job of shooting the feet, knocking him off balance. That's a great defensive play, Brad.
Don't forget, Eisenhower only has one timeout remaining. They had to use one back they had to use two in the third quarter. And we talked about it when it happened, how vital those timeouts could come if this became a one-possession game late in the fourth quarter. Schuster double pumps and throws it at the feet at time of Harris.
That was on a drive, too, that the Big Reds cashed in on. So
yeah, double
it wasn't
whammy.
Like those timeouts helped them. So, not a lot of options, and the Big Reds really taking their time with the clock. Obviously, the incompletion helps Eisenhower.
Do you like that play call there on second down and long?
Yeah, well, I don't think it was originally intended. I think that was his check down because Ike did a nice job of covering downfield. I thought Ryan might have had a lane where he could take off and run, though.
And the reason I ask you is because you do stop the clock with 3:42 left to go, and you're stuck with a third and long now. And is this perhaps another passing situation?
It looked like they're bringing a blitz. They back out of it.
Schuster will throw. Avoids the first contact. Another flag comes in and out of the reach.
Got Shamar turned around there. I think it's going to be on the Big Reds, but they're going to decline this. Force the Big Reds to punt.
Chippewa Valley crowds around the officials, and we're going to get a hold against them. It will be declined, and it'll bring up a fourth down.
I mean, you got to punt it. Even if it goes in the end zone, they're about the 20. I mean, you got to play the percentages.
And if you do get a touchback, it would essentially be about a 22-yard punt. So net gain of 22 if you do kick this into the end zone.
Well,
they're going to leave the offense out there.
Well, and they've done this, but
Schuster
don't forget
can punt.
The pooch punt. That's kind of Coach Merchant's little staple, Coach Priest. With a quarterback and pooch punt it here. So it kind of looks like it. They're putting a guy back. Now we'll just see if it takes the roll.
And it does. It checks up at the 15.
There you go.
And it's down at the 16.
Well, 3:25 to go, Brad. Ike's got to go 84 yards to tie it, and the Big Red defense needs a huge stand here.
So Eisenhower has been able to come up with answers all night long, and their defense makes the vital stop there. They were able to go 80 yards on their last drive for the touchdown that pulled them within 7. Can they come up with 84 yards here? Ives drops back. Oh! Was looking for the quick hitter that time to his running back, Selkowski.
Yeah, a little angle route that's called by the back there, thrown behind him, and boy, that almost was intercepted and took to the house because there was nobody in front there, but foul's incomplete.
Chippewa Valley sideline asking their faithful to make some noise. 2nd down and 10, 3:22 left to go.
You really got to keep an eye on number 4 here. He's made big plays all night.
Ives takes the snap right on cue to Barker across the 35 up to about the 38-yard line.
You got to watch number 4. He's just killed you all night long, and he continues to do it.
22 yards on the reception. Down to 3 minutes now left to go. Eagles with only 1 timeout left. Ives looks over, 3 wide receivers to his left. He goes to his right instead. That's Barker once again on that slant route.
That's a great catch because you can't, the coverage on that was great.
Had a defender literally on his back. And Ives just was able to fire that into the midsection. And that was a ball that only Barker could catch. There was no way the DB could make a play on that ball.
The good part for the Big Red defense, that's in bounds. The clock is ticking, and Ike has really got to be careful on when they use this last timeout.
2nd down, 5 to go. Little confusion. Nobody picked up the blitzer. Aiden Ives able to escape once, twice, 3 times, still on his feet, and he's going to pick up yards all the way up to the 45-yard line. He picked up 2. He would have lost about 10 yards at least on 3 separate occasions and was able to scamper out of there. Unreal.
What a great job by Ives there. He was dead to rights. And this made something out of absolutely nothing.
And he got out of bounds,
the Eagles alive.
Too. Well, they're going to mark him back. They initially had him all the way up to the 45. They moved the football back 2 yards. So he got back to the line of scrimmage. So he doesn't pick up anything, but he escaped a huge loss there.
Big Reds might be bringing pressure here. Harris off the right side.
Ives, chest high snap to
there
Barker.
He is again.
Right at the sticks and picks up 7 more after the catch. And he took a wallop there. He hit his head hard on the turf.
Yeah, this kid's made big plays all night. You talked about how great Ives has played, but when they've needed a big play, number 4 gets the ball, and he's been outstanding.
And the Big Reds now are going to take a timeout. They're going to give this defense a little bit of a breather. Cephas Harris out there on the defensive side of things as well for Chippewa Valley. Adding some athletes on the defensive side of the ball to kind of counter this pressure that Eisenhower's bringing. Just calm, cool, and collected is Aiden Ives. What a ball game he has had. We cannot say enough about what the senior signal caller has done in this game.
This game is really, at 14-0, it looked like Chippewa Valley was seizing control, and that drive right before the half really gave the Eagles some new life because it's really been a different team since that point offensively. And here they are, Big Red 45 yards away from making this a tie ball game with $1:59 to go.
Ives going to have to escape for his life once again.
That didn't make it back to the yard marker. That was about a yard short. He's coming over. This is going to be interesting.
He's got to get it back to the line of scrimmage, and it was definitely
there it is.
Yep, it was a yard short of the line of scrimmage.
That's going to be a 16-yard loss. You lose the down, so instead of throwing it away and make it 2nd and 10, you're 2nd and 26.
Play of the game right there.
Oh, that was huge.
So all the way back to the 39-yard line.
Because not only about the loss, but allows the defense to play a little bit more loose because it really limits what you can do. You got to try to get
they're
a
going to move
back.
them all the way back to the 34.
That is a long, long way. 2nd and 31.
21-yard loss. Wow.
Oh, hey.
Wobbly pass, 3 Big Reds there, and
Oh, he picked it off! Zach Ernat! Well, but that's because of the penalty. You had to throw it up there. Ernat just makes the play.
And Ethan Barker knew that was a wobbly pass, and he just tried to deflect that ball down, but there was 3 Big Red defenders in the vicinity of that football. And it will be Zach Ernat that comes away with the INT and will seal the deal.
Well,
Eisenhower can only stop the clock once.
a week ago, he turned 18, got a touchdown, and the party's still going because he makes the play of the game there. He's caught some big punts, but no catch was bigger than that play right there. And the Big Reds now got to try to run this clock out. Like only 1 timeout left.
Zach's got a touchdown in this game as well.
Yes,
Touchdown
he has.
reception, so touchdown reception and
Look
a big
out.
INT, and now this could be the potential dagger. Cephas Harris,
Stay in bounds.
and he will do just that.
No,
Finally,
he went out of
they're going to say he went out
bounds.
of bounds at the 19. He got dragged down from behind. Oh, no, they're going to say timeout was called.
No, well, the referee put his hands up, which is he was tackled out of bounds, but clock has stopped. Not after he gains, a big gain.
Minute 33 left to go, and Cephas Harris' show continues. Highlight reel after highlight reel. Boy, oh boy, is he a special player, and he's looking to add on some more. He breaks off another big run, and Eisenhower not even going to use that timeout. See if Coach Scott Merchant calls off the dogs here, and we'll just take a couple knees to end this football game.
Well, yeah, you're pretty much in crunch clock right now. You're going to watch that back judge, get your play set, let him count all the way down. He might even let him count all the way down right now and call timeout, and then, run something what you want. Well, it looks like they're going to set up here. Referee's got his hand up. He'll start counting at 5.
And they will give to Cephas Harris.
Stay in
And
bounds.
he's going to go out of bounds. Picked up the first down, but stepped out of bounds. It'll stop the clock with 42.6 seconds.
I mean, the good thing about that, the bad thing obviously going out of bounds, you want the clock to run, but you also got a new set of downs. So
Now for
with
sure
one
you can take a
timeout,
knee.
you can pretty much knee the clock if you want to.
Coach Smith not looking like he's going to even use that timeout.
One of the best plays in football, Brad. Victory formation.
Well-earned victory here tonight
There it
for
is.
Chippewa Valley. Yep. I would be shocked if Coach Smith even took the timeout.
Well, hard-fought game by the Eagles. Came up just short, but they gave the Big Reds everything they could handle. And the first kind of adversity test for the Big Reds this year is passed. So
Hard-fought home victory to improve their record to 3-0, but more importantly, 1-0 in MAC Red play as the Eisenhower Eagles fall to 1-2. Overall 0-1 in MAC Red play. And now the big game, the big rivalry game looms next week as Chippewa Valley will go on the road to take on the Dakota Cougars. Jeff, your final thoughts here tonight.
yeah, the Big Reds jumped out 14-0. Harris came alive and with some big runs, and then the Eagles fought back and really made it a game and really put the Big Reds on the ropes. And I thought they did a nice job of responding. With some mental toughness, but take a hats off to that Eisenhower football team. Great effort by the Big Reds. Great football game. And now next week, Big Reds 3-0 going over to Dakota. Don't know what the score was of the Cougar Romeo game night. It was 14-10 Romeo with about 6 minutes to go, so we'll find out. And it could either be 2-1 Dakota or 1-2 Dakota. And a 1-2 team is a dangerous team.
A really entertaining game here tonight to kick off our MAC Red coverage on Chippewa Valley Cable. I'd like to thank our hard-working crew and especially my broadcast partner tonight, Jeff Vitale. It was a well-played game by both squads. The final score, once again, the Big Reds from Chippewa Valley 28, the Eisenhower Eagles 21. Thank you so much for watching this Chippewa Valley Cable television production. I'm Brad Fetter saying goodnight from Chippewa Valley. One final time, your final score, the Big Reds 28, the Eagles 21.